Hello everyone, I am super excited to be here once again. For our episode today, we are looking at Dyscalculia, its traits and how students can be supported at home and in school. Let's get started. Dyscalculia is a specific learning disability that affects individuals' ability to understand and manipulate numbers. So now we are going to look at some of the indicators that can support parents and educators to look out for in a child who has this learning difficulty. The first one that we are going to talk about is mostly students with dyscalculia find difficulty counting amounts of objects. So for like an example, if you ask your students or your ward to, let's say, count these cubes that you have here, the child can go like 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, like that. So they either overcount or they less count. So at the end of the day, they are not able to tell you the right amount of objects that you have right here. Like taking their time to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They have difficulty doing that. The next indicator that we are going to talk about is students with this learning difficulty mostly find recognizing numbers very, very difficult. So like for an example, if you take your child through, let's say, card number 1 for this week, you can go through card number 1 at the same time in the second week. By the time you come back and you ask your child, so what number is this? The child will fumble because he's having this learning difficulty of recognizing numbers. So the child will find difficulty and not being able to tell you boldly or confidently that this is card number 1 or card number 2 or card number 3, then it will continue like that. Students with dyscalculia also have challenges using simple operations like subtraction, addition, division, and multiplication. Again, they also struggle with using concepts like telling time, measurements, and looking at spatial relationships. Now, we are going to look at strategies that can really support educators and parents both at school and at home when they are supporting their words in math. So the first one that we are going to talk about is by using visuals. Now when we talk about visuals, whenever we are supporting in general special needs kids, we are supposed to use visuals like charts when we are teaching them math. Visuals like charts. Visual is what they can see with their eyes. So if you are teaching them counting numbers, you can use these cards so the child can see what is here. So Kujo, this is number 1. So the child has seen. So even if you tell or you ask the child to model what you have here, at least the child can trace it and do just like that. So this is card number 1. You can also use charts like this. So this is a number chart from 0 up to 9 over here. So it goes like that. I have from 10 up to 19. Then it goes like that from 20 up to 29 up to 50. So the child in learning math or learning counting numbers, he's interacting with the material, having hands-on with the material, manipulating it, and at the same time having fun with it. Now, the strategy number 2 that educators and parents can also employ both at school and at home is using concrete materials when teaching students with dyscalculia math, like using cubes, like using pegs. So you use concrete materials, something that the children can interact with it, something that they can manipulate with it, something that they can also play. They are learning at the same time but also having fun. So you ask the child, okay, so today we are doing addition, counting numbers. Okay, so could you pick 2 pegs? So he or she picks the 2 pegs here. Okay, so 2 plus 2, let's say. Then he has already picked the 2 pegs here. You do it for the child to see, then he also model after you. Then 2 here. So 2 plus 2. Okay, so 2 is here, 2 is here. What do we do again? The next one is we put them together. Then count what you have. So he goes like, you support the child in counting. So it goes like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you go like so. Now 2 plus 2, 2 and 2 will give you what? Then the child will go like, it will give me 4. Then you appreciate the child. Okay. Next, when you are teaching a child who has dyscalculia, this learning difficulty, one strategy that the educator or the parents can also use in the teaching and the learning process is by connecting real life experiences into the classroom, into what you are doing. So let's take it for example, you are doing shapes. So you tell the child, maybe it's the first time that you are teaching the concepts. So this is what? It's a circle. This is what? This is a rectangle. This is what? This is a triangle. Now, you can now bring it to real life context, that is into the classroom or back into the house. Then you ask the child, so now my dear, what object looks like a circle in the classroom or in the house? Then the child will now begin to think, wow, and go like, okay, now a circle looks like a ball, the ball that I play with. Then you see, so this one, learning is ongoing, and the child is also connecting what he's learning at school to what he's also have seen in the house. So in this sense, we are relating what we learn in the classroom to experiences back at home or to real life experiences. And this type of strategy helps learners to think very deep, and it also enhances their problem solving skills. Another strategy that educators and parents can also employ during the teaching and learning process is also by breaking your concepts into small and manageable activity or task. Let's say in today's learning or teaching and learning, the topic is for us to be able to add 1 single digit, right? So 2 is a single digit, 1 it is 3, up so is from 1 up to 9. Now, because you are dealing with a special needs child, and for that matter, the child has a learning difficulty, a specific learning difficulty, that is a child with dyscalculia. So now you use your concrete, something that is hands-on, the children can relate, they can touch, they can feel, like let's say my cubes over here. Okay, so today we are combining or we are adding single digit numbers. So now 2 and 3, you break it into small manageable activity to help the child to be able to do that. So now 2 and 3. So the first step is you have your cubes or anything that you want to use. It could be pegs, it could be anything that the child can really feel, hold, and work with it. So we are going to use our cubes over here. So now 2 and 3. So the first step is we have our cubes over here. Step number 2 is, okay, so you count your 2 over here, 1 and 2. Good. Then what again? The next step is to count our 3, right? Good. So let's go 1 after you, 2 and 3. So now we have our 2 elsewhere, our 3 elsewhere. Then now you ask the child to put the 2 single digits or the objects that he has counted aside together. So now I put my 2 or my 3 to the 2 to add. Now the next step is for you to ask the child, after combining or putting the objects together, what did he or she have? So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you now ask the child, 2 and 3 will give you 5. Then she goes like that.